Okay, the message that has been coming through the last couple days for me, and again, if you're watching, this most likely will resonate with you, is you trigger people a lot. So if you are in a season of isolation, I know I've been talking about this a lot, it has been coming up a lot because first, it's definitely what I have been going through, and I know a lot of people also have been going through the same. And it's a very isolating feeling, obviously, if you're in isolation. But oftentimes, it usually feels like we're the only ones in it, we're the only ones experiencing it, and everyone else is having these like bright, magical lives when really that's not the case. There is a lot of upheaval and change that is happening in so many people's lives. And not many people talk about it because most likely they feel ashamed of it, and they also feel like they have no one to talk to about it. But even though I'm also in this period of isolation, I have some like soul sisters that unfortunately don't live in my area. But I get to talk to, and I know that they're also moving through this. And I know also on my social media, just based on what people tell me, there's a lot of people moving through this period of isolation and death and rebirth because that's all that isolation is. But if you are going through, which again, most likely you are, through this period of isolation, you are a catalyst in many people's lives. So you trigger a lot of people. They might not actually tell you this, but you sense it on a very cellular level. And it's interesting. I just got a notification when I said that. So that's just a confirmation, I think, for me. Um, yeah, you're a catalyst in many people's lives. You trigger a lot of people. You mirror back their stuff. And we all do, but there are a few individuals on this planet, which you're probably watching as you resonate with this energy right now, where it's like you trigger everybody because you have such a bright light. And again, people won't tell you this outright. There are some that you can tell they're getting triggered by you, but there's others you have absolutely no idea. And those people kind of start to fade away in the background, right? And they won't tell you because either they're not fully aware of it, or you make them feel so uncomfortable be when they're around you, but at the same time they want to be around you. It's because you radiate this beautiful bright light in the world, and you're actually meant to be this mirror. You're meant to project all the unhealed wounds and traumas that people carry within them. And if you think about it, that's a very confronting thing. A lot of people are still, quote unquote, asleep. A lot of people are still just, they like hiding behind the masks. They like hiding behind all the armor they have built up because they themselves are not willing to confront what's in them. And because you have done the work, because you have seen the shadows and darkness within yourself, you reflect that back to people, and people just aren't comfortable with that. And so it can feel so isolating and almost like these thoughts of like, no one likes me. I don't really understand like why it's so hard to meet people at my depth. why whenever I talk to someone, it seems to be all surface level, and I just feel like no one actually sees me, no one actually values me, no one actually can fully understand me and grasp the individual, the soul that I actually am. That's because there are so many people not willing to sit with their own stuff, right? So think about it. People can only meet you as far as they have met themselves. So if you meet someone, and a lot of the thing is, when you are such a bright light in this world, you attract everything to you. Everything. That means the good and the bad, the people who are also bright lights, but also the people who are just attracted to your light and they don't even understand why. They just are. And they want a piece of that. So not everybody that comes in with the right intentions, which is why when you are such a bright light in the world, you have to be very discerning. You have to you have to be embodied. Yeah, you have to come back into the body, and that is a hard thing to do when first you're definitely a very sensitive individual, so you feel a lot of things. You have a lot of compassion and empathy, and you feel a lot of people's stuff, even if you're conscious of that or you're not. So you are very, very sensitive. And when you are that sensitive, it's almost like it's not fully safe to be in your body because you constantly had to make sure about your safety, like whether you were safe or not. So you became disconnected with your body. And so that's when it's harder to decipher who's actually for you and who is not. So it's a very important practice to become embodied, to come back into the body, to start creating the sanctuary within your own temple. So if you've watched my videos, I call I've been doing this actually for years. I call our body our temple because it is. Our soul lives in this temple. We need to take care of our temple. So you need to create safety within your temple. And how you do that is you come back into the body over and over again. That means processing your own stuff. When you do that, your sensitivity will come back online like 900 more times. Like like I've been doing this and my sensitivity has come back online, and I still can feel there's more to go. I still feel that. But I'm like, pretty much I began this journey last year, and it's been a slow and gradual process, like a flower starting to bloom open. And it's slow, it's not a overnight thing, and that happens also for a reason, not to overwhelm your system, your temple, your body, your mind. You have to slowly, gradually lean back into your sensitivity. But again, when you do that, you'll start to understand who is there actually for you and who is not. It'll become much easier to navigate this world, is when you can stay anchored in your temple as you navigate this world, being the bright light that you are. Because listen, your light is so bright, you trigger so many people that they don't even have to interact with you. And I know how crazy that might seem, but that's literally like your auric field is so big that you impact people that you don't even like face to face interaction. There's no interaction and you still impact them. And you might not even notice, but people look at you. And they'll look at you in a way that it's like it's not noticeable. Yes, there's some that might, but most of the time it'll be just in a way that, they notice you, but they're not trying to, get you to notice them. But that also happens because the frequency is not a match, right? I don't know about you guys, but I know, well, if you're watching this probably will resonate with you. There were so many times where people would see me and I apparently made eye contact with them, but I never actually saw them. I never actually saw them. Wild to me. This happened when I was like way back in high school, and I had a couple people tell me like, "Why didn't you say hi to me?" I said hi to you, and I looked you right in the eye, and you looked like we made eye contact, and I was like, "I don't know, I never saw you. I actually never saw you. If I would have seen you and we made eye contact, and you said hi, I would have said hi back, right?" But that's also just how energy works, right? So let me just tune in because this has just been a direct stream of consciousness going through me, and it's been coming up, like I said, a lot for the last couple days. And I just feel for anyone that's watching this is what you need to hear, because you might feel that like, I don't get it. Like, you have such beautiful and deep, great intentions to impact this world. Like, if you're watching, you definitely resonate that you're probably like the black sheep of the family. You've always seen the world differently. Always, like since birth. Since you were a little child, you've always seen the world differently, and you could never quite fit in to the system. Yes, you might have tried over the years, especially to adapt and to be accepted in society, but you never actually truly fit in. You knew that you were always different. You knew you were always destined for something else. You weren't made to fit into the system. That's who I'm speaking to. Which, by the way, that's just like a mirror of me. um, so, yeah, you might be asking yourself, like, I don't get it. I'm not made for this world. Like, I don't belong here. And again, the reason you feel that is because you're such a bright light and you trigger so many people who are unconscious and don't want to face their stuff. So don't take that on, like, personally. And I know how isolating that can feel. Trust me, I know. Literally part of that same energy. But know that you are coming closer and closer to the people who resonate at your level. It's happening. Because I have been calling this in for years, and it just started to happen this past year, where I'm meeting people that resonate at the same level. Granted, they're not like physically close to me, but still, that's the first ripple. That's the first ripple that that energy is coming closer to you. And you will, I even, it's even the energy of relocation. Yeah. So if you resonate with that, you could actually be relocating somewhere else soon. Not sure when, but like, that energy is there. And it's almost like you first are getting energetically prepared for this relocation because you've outgrown the area that you're in. Like your light has already done a lot of work in that area, and whoever you needed to trigger into whatever work that they need to do, you've done it. You've done it, which is why your world feels even more isolated now. Because even the people that weren't really at your level and you were triggering are now completely gone out of your like vicinity. They're gone. That's because your work is done. And now you're being energetically prepared for something else, to be somewhere else, to be closer to the ones that actually get you, and that all your energies combined can do even more impactful and more powerful work. So just know that this is all happening, but it has to happen on an energetic level first before it can happen in the physical. So I don't know for you, but I know for me. So if either you're experiencing this just now or you're about to experience this, where there'll be a lot of like grieving and releasing of the old, things that still may be keeping you attached to whatever is within your location. In 1616, when I looked up, I don't know if that's significant for anyone, but I say these things because, again, signs and synchronicities have been a huge one for me the past year, which, again, that'll be a separate video I want to dive into. But again, if you're resonating, you're here, you probably listen to signs and synchronicities. They are the little breadcrumbs on your path. Yeah, so let go of whatever needs to be let go of. Grieve. Make sure you allow yourself to grieve and go through the motions of letting go of a former life, because you are becoming someone new. But just know this new person is actually the real you that has been hiding behind all the masks, all the conditioning, all the protective layers that you had to put on in order to survive in this 3D reality, in this like society, right? So you've been shedding all of that away. And even if it's a false self, it's still uncomfortable. It's still uncomfortable, so just go through it. Do whatever feels good to do so that you can become centered, but make sure you go through the motions. Guys, this is how you become embodied. This is how you return back into the temple and start become sensitive to the outside world and to the impulses and to your intuition, right? This is how you start just receiving that and knowing what to do next and when to do it, right? Yeah, this is kind of what feels like it just needed to be said. Like literally I just feel like the energy's done now. Yeah, I'll be doing more videos like this because, again, I've been tapping back into my own body, into my own temple, and it has increased my sensitivity, which just has increased my intuition, which also has increased my intuitive and psychic abilities that I always had when I was little, but I blocked them off and I'm starting to reclaim them, which you could be too. So anyway, if this has resonated with you, please let me know. And just know that you're not alone. There are many that are within your collective that are going through the same thing. And we're all kind of placed in different parts of the world because that's where our light was needed at the time. But I do sense, especially if you resonate with a relocation, that is coming. And it's going to be more conducive to who you truly are. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there.